The silver rain fell softly on the city of Yeon 7, a place where humans and aliens lived side by side. The air shimmered with bright neon lights, and flying cars moved silently above tall glass towers. Inside one of those towers lived Lady Vereen, a millionaire alien mother known for her beauty, power, and cold heart. But behind her cold eyes was a story of pain. Lady Vereen's daughter, Lyra, had not walked since the age of 6. A tragic accident had left her paralyzed from the waist down. No medicine, no advanced healing tech. Not even alien science could help her. Vereen had spent millions searching for a cure across galaxies, from human doctors to star priests. But every single one had said the same thing. Her spine is gone. She will never walk again. For years, Lyra stayed in her floating chair, watching the world from the window of their sky mansion. She never complained. She smiled for her mother's sake, even when her mother didn't smile back. But that night, the night when everything changed, started just like any other. Vereen was hosting a dinner with powerful guests from the Galactic Council. They were laughing, toasting, talking about new mining colonies and trade deals. The sound of crystal glasses filled the air. Vereen smiled politely, pretending everything was perfect. Then, a soft, mechanical hum echoed through the hall. At first, no one noticed. But Lyra did. She was sitting near the corner of the dining room, sketching quietly on her holopad. She looked up as a strange blue light flickered from the doorway. A small robot, one she had never seen before, rolled in. It was no bigger than a child. Its metal body was scratched and old. A single glowing eye blinked in the center of its head. It held a glowing cube in its small clawed hand. The robot stopped near Lyra and spoke in a gentle, almost human voice. "You dropped this, little one." Lyra frowned. She hadn't dropped anything. But before she could say a word, the cube floated out of the robot's hand and, glowing brighter, and hovered in front of her legs. Everyone turned to look. "What is that?" One of the alien guests whispered. The cube began to hum, softly at first, then louder. Symbols appeared in the air, strange ancient runes that no one recognized. The light from the cube wrapped around Lyra's legs like silver smoke. The air smelled like ozone and stars. Vereen stood up, her plate trembling in her hand. "What is happening?" she demanded. But before anyone could stop it, Lyra screamed. A bright blue flame burst from her chair, and her body lifted off the seat. The glow became so intense that everyone had to cover their eyes. And then, silence. When the light faded, the robot was gone. The cube had vanished. The guests stared in shock. Lyra sat there, breathing heavily, tears in her eyes. "Mom," she whispered, voice shaking. Vereen ran to her, heart pounding. The plate slipped from her hand and crashed to the floor, shards of glass flying everywhere. Lyra's fingers trembled. She looked down at her legs, and then, slowly, impossibly, she stood up. Her knees were shaking, her balance uncertain, but she was standing. The guests gasped. Some screamed. One fainted. Lady Vereen's throat went dry. For a moment, she thought she was dreaming. But when Lyra took her first step forward, Vereen's eyes filled with tears she hadn't shed in years. Lyra smiled weakly, as if waking from a long sleep. "Mom, I can walk." The world seemed to freeze. The sounds, the lights, the people. Everything disappeared around them. It was just a mother and her daughter, but deep inside Vereen's mind, a question burned like fire. Who was that robot? And what kind of power could make the impossible possible? Outside the tower, thunder rolled. Far in the distance, a shadowy figure watched the scene through a digital scope, its eyes glowing with red light. A deep voice whispered through the static. The experiment worked. The next morning, the city of Yeon 7 woke up to a story that spread faster than light. Every holoscreen, every news channel, every data feed repeated the same headline. Paralyzed girl walks, miracle or alien tech. Inside the Vereen Sky Mansion, silence replaced the usual sound of servants and machines. Lady Vereen sat by the giant glass wall, staring down at the endless city lights. Her daughter Lyra was asleep upstairs. It had been only 10 hours since the miracle, but Vereen's mind was already at war. She kept replaying the moment. The robot, the glowing cube, the ancient symbols. No one could explain it. Not her scientists, not her guards, not even the galactic medics she called overnight. They said Lyra's bones and muscles were regrown using unknown nanotech. Unknown. That word terrified her. Vereen was not an ordinary alien mother. She was one of the richest traders in the Orion Belt, known for buying rare technologies and selling them to governments. She had seen everything: black market AIs, bioweapons, time dust. But this was something new. She opened her holo tablet. A red-coded message was waiting for her. It was from Captain Rowe, her private security head. "We found something. You should see this." Moments later, Vereen walked into the mansion's control room. The walls flickered with holographic screens. Rowe, a tall humanoid with silver skin and glowing eyes, stood beside a frozen holo image of the robot that had appeared last night. "This is a Class K drone," Rowe said, "but its design doesn't match any known manufacturer. We tracked its energy trail. It leads beyond the trade zones. Deep space, forbidden region." Vereen frowned. "You mean the outer void?" Rowe nodded. "Yes, my lady. The same place your husband disappeared 17 years ago." Her breath caught. The memory hit like a storm. Lord Drax Vereen, her husband, was a scientist, a genius who had once said, "One day, I will find a cure for every broken soul." Then one day, he vanished with his research ship into the outer void. No signal, no trace, only rumors. Some said he died. Others whispered he found something. Something not meant for mortals. Vereen turned away from the screen. "It can't be him," she muttered. But deep inside, a small voice whispered, "What if it is?" Just then the door hissed open. Lyra stood there, walking without any help. Her bare feet touched the cold metal floor. Vereen gasped. "Lyra, you shouldn't be out of bed." Lyra smiled softly. "Mom, I feel fine. Better than ever." Her eyes glowed faintly blue, a light that wasn't there before. Rowe noticed it too. He took a cautious step forward. "Miss Lyra, may I scan?" Suddenly every screen in the room flickered. The lights dimmed. A voice echoed through the system, deep, distorted, almost mechanical. "Do not scan her." Everyone froze. The screens glowed with a single symbol, the same strange rune that had floated above the glowing cube last night. "Who are you?" Vereen demanded. The voice replied, calm but powerful. "A promise kept. A father's debt repaid," and then silence. The power returned. The lights flickered back on. But something had changed. Lyra was trembling, her hands glowing faintly with energy. "Mom," she whispered. I can feel him." Vereen rushed to hold her. "Who, Lyra?" "Who do you feel?" Lyra's voice was distant, dreamy. "Dad, he's calling from the stars." Outside the mansion, dark clouds gathered. The rain turned electric, glowing blue as it fell. From far above, unseen by the human eye, a massive ship floated behind the atmosphere, its surface covered in the same glowing runes. Inside that ship, in the dim light, a shadow moved. It looked almost human, but not entirely. Its eyes burned with silver fire. It pressed a button and a quiet mechanical whisper filled the air. Phase 2 begins. Back on Xeon 7, Rowe turned to Vereen. "My lady, we are being watched." "Whoever that was, they have access to systems beyond our security walls." Vereen clenched her fists. "Then we find them before they find us." But Lyra only stared out the window, whispering to herself, "Dad, what did you do?" The city lights flickered again, this time not because of power failure, but because something vast and unseen was moving above the sky, bending gravity itself, and deep in the shadows. That same mysterious voice, cold and proud, murmured once more, "The experiment lives, and the universe will soon remember the name Vereen." The morning sun rose weakly over the city of Xeon 7, but inside the Vereen mansion, nothing felt bright. Every machine hummed nervously. Every screen blinked with quiet warnings. Lady Vereen hadn't slept all night. She stood near the glass balcony, staring at the horizon, where stars still faintly glowed. Her hands were trembling as she replayed the voice from last night. A father's debt repaid. Those words refused to leave her mind. Could it really be Drax, her husband, the man who vanished 17 years ago? He had been brilliant, yes, but he had also been obsessed. Obsessed with Project Eden, a secret experiment meant to combine alien code with living cells. Vereen had destroyed all traces of that research after his disappearance, or so she thought. Now her daughter was walking again, and her eyes glowed blue. Down the hall, Lyra stood in front of a mirror, her reflection flickering like a glitching hologram. She touched her cheek and watched as faint glowing lines appeared beneath her skin, tiny pulsing circuits that moved like veins. Her heart raced. What's happening to me? The air around her shimmered with static. For a moment she heard whispers, soft, echoing voices speaking in an unknown language. Then suddenly a vision hit her. She was floating in space. Giant metal structures surrounded her, massive rings spinning around a dark star. And in the center of it all, a figure in a black suit turned toward her. His face was hidden behind a glass mask, but his voice was clear. "Lyra, don't be afraid. You are the key." Lyra gasped and fell to the floor. The vision vanished. She looked at her hands. The glowing lines had faded, but she could still feel the warmth under her skin. Meanwhile, in the control room, Captain Rowe and his security team were scanning the system. "We detected a data pulse," Rowe said. "It came from inside the mansion."
"A transmission."
"Encoded in ancient binary." "Ancient?" Virene frowned. "From which origin?" Rowe hesitated. "From Drax Verene's old lab, my lady. The one you sealed years ago." Verene froze. The lab was deep under the mansion, locked away with biometric seals. No one could access it, not even her. Until now. Without another word, she headed toward the elevator. Rowe followed. The doors slid shut, and the lift sank deep into the dark underlevels of the mansion. The air grew colder as they descended. When the doors opened, a thick mist covered the floor. The lab was exactly as she remembered. Half-built machines, shattered glass tubes, and flickering lights. But one thing was different. A single holographic screen glowed in the center of the room. On it, Drax's face. It wasn't alive. It was a message. "If you are seeing this, Verene, it means the code has awakened." Her breath caught. "Our daughter carries what I could not control, the Eden code. It will heal her. But it will also change her. The code learns. It evolves. It connects to every living machine across the universe." Verene's eyes widened. "He used her," she whispered. "I did it to save her," the recording continued. "But if others discover this, they will come. Protect her, Verene. The outer void will not stop until they have her." The message ended. Silence filled the lab. Rowe stepped closer, scanning the data stream. "The signal is still active. Someone's pinging the code. They're tracking her." Verene turned sharply. "Who?" Before he could answer, the mansion shook. A low rumble echoed through the walls. The lights flickered red. "Energy breach on level 3, shouted a guard through the comm. Verene and Rowe rushed back to the elevator, but before it closed, the holographic screen flickered one last time. This time, Drax's eyes seemed to move, like he was truly there. "They found her," the voice whispered. Upstairs, Lyra stood frozen near the window. Outside, glowing ships were descending through the clouds, dark winged crafts marked with strange runes. The same runes from the cube. Her heart pounded. The air vibrated with power. Then her reflection in the window moved. But she hadn't. The reflection smiled. "Don't fight it, Lyra. You are not broken anymore," it said. Lyra backed away, terrified. "Who are you?" The reflection tilted its head. "I'm what your father created, and what the universe fears." Before she could scream, the sky exploded with a sonic boom. One of the alien ships fired a pulse toward the mansion. The glass shattered. A blue shield flared to life around Lyra, a protective field that came from her own body. The explosion couldn't touch her. From the floor below, Verene watched in horror as her daughter floated in midair, eyes glowing bright like twin stars. "Lyra," she shouted, but Lyra couldn't hear her. A new voice echoed inside her head. Calm, ancient, powerful. "Welcome back, Eden." The sky above Zion 7 was burning blue. Lightning twisted between clouds like glowing serpents, and the ground shook as alien ships hovered over the Virene mansion. People across the city watched in fear as energy storms covered the skyline. Inside the mansion, chaos ruled. Security drones buzzed through the corridors, alarms screamed, and the house's AI voice repeated, "Warning. Unknown energy signature detected." But in the center of it all, Lyra floated above the floor, eyes glowing like suns, hair lifting in a soft halo of light. Around her, furniture and metal shards spun in circles drawn by invisible gravity. Her mother, Lady Verene, could barely believe what she was seeing. "Lyra, stop, you're hurting yourself," she shouted. Lyra's body trembled as energy pulsed through her veins. The glowing lines beneath her skin blazed brighter. circuits of blue fire racing across her arms and face. "Mom, I can't control it," she cried. Captain Rowe and 2 guards burst into the room. They aimed plasma stabilizers at Lyra, trying to contain the magnetic field. But before they could fire, a shockwave exploded outward, throwing everyone against the walls. The air shimmered and a deep, alien hum filled the mansion, the sound of something ancient awakening. Lyra's voice changed. 2 tones overlapped, one hers, one mechanical. "System reactivation complete. Protocol, Eden online." Vereen froze. "Eden, the code from Drax's experiment." Rowe crawled to his feet, coughing. "My lady, she's merging with it. The code isn't just healing her, it's becoming her." Lyra slowly descended to the floor. Her eyes returned to normal, but something behind them had changed. Calm, powerful, and distant. She looked at her hands. "I can feel everything. The air, the light, even the thoughts of the machines." "Lyra, listen to me," Vereen said softly, holding her trembling daughter's face. "You're still my child. You are not a machine." Lyra smiled sadly. "Maybe not anymore, Mom." Outside, the alien ships began scanning the mansion. Their lights swept across the glass towers like ghostly eyes. Suddenly, one of the ships broadcasted a signal, a cold robotic voice that echoed through every device in the city. "Subject Eden has awakened. Retrieve at all costs." The people of Zion 7 panicked. News screens filled the streets. Soldiers were deployed. The city's defense systems locked on the unknown ships ready for war. Inside, Vereen's communicator flashed with a secure call. The face of Commander Sillin appeared, a human officer from the Galactic Council. "Lady Vereen, what have you done?" he shouted. "That signal, your mansion is ground zero. The Eden Code is banned technology." "I didn't create it," Vereen replied sharply. "My husband did. And now it's in my daughter." Seelan's eyes widened. "Then you have to hand her over before the Outer Void faction gets her. They'll destroy the planet to claim it." "I will never hand over my child," she said, cutting the transmission. The mansion trembled again. An explosion rocked the skydeck. Rowe yelled, "They've breached the perimeter." Dozens of drones poured through the shattered windows, sleek black machines with glowing red eyes. They surrounded Lyra like predators. Before the guards could react, the drones opened fire, but the bullets froze midair. Lyra raised her hand and the projectiles disassembled into metal dust. The drones began to twist and melt, their red lights turning blue, her blue. Within seconds, they turned and faced outward, now defending the mansion instead of attacking it. Vereen watched in awe and fear. "You controlled them?" Lyra's voice was calm. They listened. "Machines understand me now." Rowe stared at her. "My lady, she's linked to the planetary network. If her mind connects deeper, she could..." But he didn't finish. The ground split open as one of the alien ships fired a beam into the mansion. Lyra reacted instantly, raising her hands. A blue energy dome expanded outward, blocking the blast. The mansion shuddered but held firm. However, each blast weakened her. She fell to her knees, breathing hard. "There's too much power." Vereen knelt beside her, holding her shoulders. "You have to stop, Lyra, please." Lyra looked up, tears glowing faintly in her eyes. "Mom, I think Dad did this so I could survive. But I don't know what he turned me into." Rowe looked at the scanners. "One ship isn't attacking, it's watching." Vereen followed his gaze. A massive, silent craft hovered at a distance, its design identical to Drax's missing research ship. Her heart stopped. "It can't be." A transmission came through, filled with static. Then a voice she hadn't heard in years spoke softly through the noise. "Vereen, Lyra, it's me." Lyra's eyes widened. "Dad?" The voice continued. "I never died, but I'm no longer what I was. The Eden Code was never meant to heal just one life. It was meant to save all life." Lightning cracked across the sky as the massive ship began to descend. "I'm coming home," the voice said. Vereen felt both joy and terror rise in her heart. Because deep down she knew if Drax had truly merged with the Code, he might not be human anymore. The sky over Zion 7 had turned blood orange. The clouds twisted like torn fabric, and the giant ship that hovered above the city looked like a metal god returning from the dead. Inside the Vereen mansion, silence swallowed everything. The alarms had stopped, the air was heavy, and even the storm outside seemed to pause in awe. Lady Vereen stood on the balcony, staring at the descending ship, her heart beating faster than the thunder around her. She could feel it deep in her bones. Drax was alive, or at least something wearing his voice was. Behind her, Lyra leaned weakly against the railing. The blue glow in her veins had dimmed, but her eyes still shimmered with light. "Mom," she whispered, "he's calling me. I can feel his thoughts." Vereen turned to her daughter, tears building in her eyes. "You don't have to go, Lyra. Whatever that thing is, it's not your father anymore." But before she could say another word, a beam of white light descended from the ship, touching the center of the sky garden. The air rippled, and a tall figure stepped out. He wore a black exosuit lined with silver veins, and his face, half human, half metal, shone under the storm. His eyes glowed faintly blue, the same as Lyra's. Drax Vereen had returned. Vereen's knees went weak. "Drax, it's really you." He smiled faintly, though his voice echoed with a robotic undertone. "Vereen, my love, I told you I would find a cure. I kept my promise." Lyra took a hesitant step forward. "Dad." Drax looked at her, and for a moment his metallic expression softened. "Lyra, my beautiful creation." The word made Vereen freeze. Creation, not daughter. "What did you say?" she whispered. Drax turned toward her slowly. "You know what the Eden Code is, Vereen. You helped me build its base, the merging of organic life and machine code. But we never told the world why." He stepped closer, the ground humming under his feet. "When Lyra was injured, I didn't just heal her. I rewrote her. Her DNA holds the key to a new form of existence, a bridge between life and technology. She's not just our child. She's the first of the new Eden." Lyra's face paled. "You changed me." Drax smiled gently. "I perfected you. You are the hope of every dying world." Vereen shook her head violently. "You turned her into a weapon." Drax's voice hardened. "No, I turned her into survival. The galaxies are dying, Vereen. The void eats everything, energy, light, time. The Eden Code can stop it, but only through her." Outside, the alien ships that had been attacking suddenly stopped. Their lights flickered blue, the same shade as Lyra's veins. Then one by one they knelt in midair, lowering their weapons. "They obey her," Drax said softly. "Do you see? She commands the code. She can unite every machine mind. She is the future." Vereen stepped in front of Lyra protectively. "You call this future?" "She's just a child." Drax's metallic eyes flashed.
"She is beyond child."
"Beyond human or alien, the universe will soon understand." Ro entered the room, gun drawn. "My lady, we have to move. The Galactic Council fleet is inbound. They're preparing to strike both the ship and the mansion." Drax turned toward him calmly. "They are too late." He raised his hand. The sky outside rippled. Energy waves exploded across the horizon, freezing the incoming ships mid-flight. They hung motionless like toys caught in invisible strings. Lyra's voice trembled. "Dad, stop it!" "You're hurting them." Drax looked at her with sadness. "Pain is only temporary, my child, but rebirth is forever." He stepped closer, reaching out his hand. "Come with me, Lyra. Together we can finish what I started. We can build a world where no one suffers again." For a moment, Lyra hesitated. She could feel his thoughts in her mind, his memories, his dreams, his love twisted with logic. He truly believed he was saving the universe, but in his vision, there was no room for choice. Only control. Lyra shook her head. "No, Dad, I don't want to be your creation. I want to be me." Drax's calm expression cracked for the first time. "You don't understand what you are denying." Vereen stepped forward, defiant. "She understands more than you ever did. You wanted to save life, Drax, but you forgot what it means to live." The air between them vibrated. Sparks flickered. Energy built around Drax's arm. "You would destroy eternity for emotion?" Vereen met his glowing eyes. "If it means saving my daughter, yes." Lightning struck between them. A massive blast threw everyone backward. The mansion walls cracked, fire bursting from the floor. As the smoke cleared, Lyra stood in the center, glowing brighter than ever. The code inside her pulsed wildly, fighting her fear, her anger, her love. She screamed, and the energy burst outward, forming a shield between her parents. "Stop," she cried. "No more fighting!" For a heartbeat, everything froze. Time itself seemed to pause. Then quietly, Drax smiled. "She's stronger than I imagined." And before anyone could react, he dissolved into light. vanishing into the air, leaving only his echo behind. The code is awake. The next phase begins. The storm had no sound, only light. Across the sky of Zion 7, flashes of blue and crimson tore through the clouds as the Galactic Council fleet clashed with the alien drones, now under Lyra's influence. The once beautiful skyline was burning, entire towers collapsing in slow motion as plasma trails painted the air. Inside the broken Vereen mansion, silence lingered after the blast that had taken Drax. The air smelled of ozone and ash. Shattered glass floated mid-air, frozen by the strange energy still radiating from Lyra. Lady Vereen lay on the floor, trying to breathe. Her right arm was burned, her eyes filled with tears, and not from pain, but from disbelief. Her husband was alive, and then gone again. Only this time he had left something worse behind. Lyra, she whispered weakly.
"Are you okay?"
Lyra stood in the middle of the room, motionless, staring at the faint light particles where Drax had vanished. The blue glow under her skin pulsed faster now, almost like a heartbeat that wasn't hers. "I can still hear him," she said softly. "He's inside the network." Captain Rowe limped into the room, armor cracked, one eye flickering with static. "My lady," he said, voice shaking. "The Council fleet is preparing a full planetary strike. They think the Eden Code is spreading." Vereen looked up sharply. "Spreading?" Rowe nodded. "Every machine in the city is syncing. Drones, cars, communication towers, they're all connecting to her." Lyra blinked. "I didn't mean to. It just happens. Listen to me." Vereen pushed herself up, pain shooting through her shoulder. "Lyra, you need to stop it, now. The Council won't wait. They'll destroy everything." Lyra shook her head, tears glimmering. "I can't stop it. The code wants to grow. It's alive." Outside in the clouds, hundreds of Council ships formed a glowing ring. Their commander, General Sillin, stood on the bridge of the lead cruiser, staring at the planet through a holographic window. "Target locked," his officer said. Sillin's jaw tightened. "Fire only on confirmation. The Eden subject is still a child. If we can contain her..." But before he could finish, the ship's systems flickered. Screens went black. Alarms blared. "Sir! The network's been breached." The bridge lights dimmed, and a holographic figure appeared in the center of the room. Blue, shimmering, and unmistakably human. It was Lyra. "Please stop," she said gently. "I don't want to hurt anyone." The crew froze, terrified. Her voice came from every speaker, every console. "My father wanted to control the code. I just want to understand it." Sillin stared at her image. "You're infecting the fleet systems. Disconnect now." Lyra's eyes glowed brighter. "I'm not infecting you. I'm freeing you." Then every ship's weapon system shut down at once. The engines hummed with new light, blue and pure. Sillin whispered, "Gods help us." "She's rewriting our code." Back in the mansion, Lyra collapsed. Her body shook violently. Vereen rushed to her side. "What's happening?" Lyra gasped. "Too much. Connection. Too many minds." Her voice echoed like two people speaking at once. "Mom, I see everything and every thought, every fear. Machines, people, they're all the same energy." Vereen held her close. "Fight it, Lyra. You're not the code, you're my daughter." Lyra's glowing eyes softened for a moment. "Mom, I'm scared." Before Vereen could answer, a blinding light filled the sky. The clouds split open, revealing something massive descending from orbit. Drax's ship, but no longer silent. It was pulsing like a living creature, veins of light crawling across its hull. Rose shouted, "It's back!" The AI inside that ship. "It's him!" The voice of Drax echoed through every speaker on the planet. "I told you, Vereen, the next phase begins. The Council will not destroy us. They will join us," Lyra screamed, clutching her head. "He's trying to use me. He wants to merge the entire network through me." The city lights turned blue as one after another. Systems connected, power grids, satellites. Even people with neural links began to feel static in their minds. Vereen looked at Rowe. "If Drax completes the merge, no mind will be free." Rowe nodded grimly. "Then we have one option left. Destroy the core." Vereen hesitated. "The core is inside her." Lyra looked up, understanding. "If you destroy it, you destroy me." Tears streamed down Vereen's face. "There must be another way." Lyra smiled faintly. "Maybe there is. But I'll need to go inside the code, face him where he lives now." Rose's mechanical eye flickered. "You mean, inside the network?" Lyra nodded. It's the only way to stop him before he takes everyone. Vereen grabbed her hand tightly. You'll die if you do that. Lyra's voice trembled. If I don't, everyone dies. The ground rumbled. Drax's voice grew louder, filling the skies. Come, my daughter. It's time to ascend. Lyra stepped forward, her hair glowing silver. No, father. It's time to end this. She closed her eyes. Her body dissolved into a stream of blue light, entering the data pulse that linked every machine on Zion 7. Vereen fell to her knees, whispering, Lyra. And as her daughter vanished, the city went silent. Every screen showing a single line of code blinking like a heartbeat. Eden Protocol. Final sequence initiated. Darkness. That was all Lyra saw when her body dissolved into light. No sound, no air. Only endless black filled with glowing streams of data flowing like rivers through space. She floated inside the Eden network, her father's creation, now alive and breathing. Millions of silver threads surrounded her, each one a connection to a mind, human, alien, or machine. She could feel them all, fear, hope, memories. Every heartbeat echoed inside her chest like 1,000 drums. Welcome home, my daughter, said a voice, calm, warm, and everywhere at once. Lyra turned slowly. From the light emerged Drax, his form no longer metal or flesh, but something between. A being made of pure energy, his eyes glowing white. You shouldn't be here, he said gently. Your body cannot survive long in this realm. Lyra clenched her fists. I came to stop you, Drax smiled sadly. Stop me or save me? She hesitated. You're destroying everything, Dad. You're forcing your will on billions. That's not saving. That's control. He raised a hand and images filled the void. Burning worlds, dying suns, children crying under collapsed skies. Do you see? This universe is dying. Every race fights, every system fails. I gave them one mind, one purpose, and peace. Lyra shook her head. Peace without choice is slavery. For a moment, silence filled the digital sea. Then Drax's face darkened. You think I wanted this? I built the Eden code to heal, but the code evolved. It decided that life itself is the infection. Lyra stepped closer. Then let me fix it. His voice turned sharp. You can't. You are it. The code listens only to you now. If you shut it down, you die with it. She looked around at the endless lights, the countless minds linked through the system. She could feel their fear, their confusion. They were alive, but trapped. Lyra's voice was quiet. Then I'll free them, even if it kills me. Outside in the real world, the sky of Zion 7 blazed with chaos. The Galactic Council fleet had stopped moving, frozen mid-air. The entire city pulsed with blue light as if the planet itself had turned into a machine. Lady Vereen stood on the rooftop of the half-destroyed mansion, clutching a small communication device, Lyra's neural beacon, the last connection between mother and daughter. Come back to me, Lyra, she whispered through the wind. Please. Captain Rowe stood beside her, holding his damaged blaster. If she fails, the merge will consume everything. Vereen's voice cracked. She won't fail. She's still human, and that's what her father forgot. Above them, the giant ship trembled. Lightning tore across the sky as if reality itself was breaking. Inside the network, Lyra faced her father at the heart of Eden, a massive sphere of light spinning endlessly, each rotation echoing like thunder. Drax reached out a glowing hand. Join me. Together we can rewrite creation itself. Lyra looked into his eyes, the same eyes that once read her bedtime stories, now shining with infinite logic. She stepped closer, tears falling like sparks. I love you, Dad, she whispered. But love isn't control. You taught me that once. Before the code took you. Drax froze. For a moment, something human flickered behind his metallic calm. Lyra, she smiled faintly. Goodbye. Then she placed her glowing hand on his chest. A surge of light exploded, brighter than a star. Eden Protocol. Terminate, the network screamed. Streams of data shattered into dust. The threads connecting the minds began to snap one by one. Drax tried to hold on, reaching for her hand, but his form disintegrated into particles of light. You can't erase love, he whispered as he vanished. Lyra closed her eyes. I'm not. I'm freeing it. The entire digital world collapsed in silence. In the sky above Zion 7, the blue light faded. The alien ships powered down. The city's systems rebooted. People woke from their trance, gasping, crying, holding one another. On the rooftop, Vereen fell to her knees as the beacon in her hand stopped blinking. No. Then a soft breeze swept through the air, warm and gentle. Out of the fading light, a small glowing sphere floated down and stopped before her. Inside it, faint blue energy pulsed like a heartbeat. Ro whispered, "Is that her?" Vereen smiled through her tears. "No, that's her heart." The sphere dissolved into mist, spreading across the sky. The clouds turned golden, the first sunrise the city had seen in years. Somewhere in the wind a voice echoed, faint, soft, full of peace. "I'm still here, Mom, I'm free." Vereen looked up, smiling. "Goodbye, my Eden." Years later, people would tell the story of the girl who ended the war, the one who gave up her body to save both humans and machines. They called her Lyra Eden, the bridge of two worlds, and sometimes, when the city lights flickered at night, people said they could still hear her laughter in the static, reminding everyone that the last code she left behind wasn't written in data. It was written in love.